text like a teenager. Oh, quick and everything. You see this man? You see this man? You see his thumbs going? It's like, brrr. It's like,
oh my god.
This man could have typed an essay. I used to do that in high school. You know, type my essays on my phone.
Well, it's because you gotta get everything out. This all can get cut off.
I think it's hilarious. Everybody just leave it.
Good afternoon, good evening, good night, and good morning.
Oh, look at you saying good morning, huh?
It's a type of party. It's a type of news. I'm
that type
Dutchman.
of. Let me not say
It's
that.
a type of honor award, I guess.
yeah. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna, starting in 2019, we will be starting the International It's That Type of Party Honor Awards.
Isn't that fun?
Isn't that fun? We will be awarding them in 7 categories, being quickest to address a problem without providing a solution. Quickest to ask where diversity is without providing diverse options. And quickest to make myself look like an ass. Not myself, but you get the drill.
Since we have zero credibility as far as I'm concerned, the awards could just be like little lollipops that have someone's face on it.
That's my thing. Why do awards even matter?
My thing is, awards are good because every human being wants to feel recognition for their work in some manner, shape, or form. Golden Globes, Grammys, Emmys, you know, everybody wants to feel like they have achieved something in their career, and I mean, awards are our measure of success.
Yeah, but Grammys and Emmys, you have to campaign and you have to pay for those things. That Grammys and Emmys Grammys, Emmys, Oscars, those big awards, they never really reflect what movie was the best movie or who gave the best performance. It reflects who paid the most money, who kissed the most ass, and who had the most connections.
Well, you better leave Meryl Streep alone.
First of all, Meryl Streep has like 80 Oscars.
That's right.
Man, they just give it to her because they like her.
She deserves
No,
it.
she doesn't.
You don't.
Meryl Streep is a fine actress.
A brilliant.
But she didn't deserve all of those.
Well, maybe.
Just like Denzel didn't deserve the Oscar for Training Day, he should have gotten the Malcolm X or Hurricane. How about that?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna give it to him for Pain or Never.
That's true. That's true. But
or Leo shouldn't have gotten it for
our main gripe right now.
Revenant. He should have got it for Wolf of Wall Street.
Our main gripe right now is that we have an honors award, a Queen's Honor Award. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! God, I don't know how I've entered into a new year with this guy. I don't know.
It's okay, that's
Say something. Say something smart. Say something intelligent. Remind me, please. Say something.
The Earth is round.
Sorry. Whew. Got a little hot in here.
That's intelligent.
Our main gripe today in this episode is the fact that there is a kerfuffle going on with the Queen's Honors Awards this year. Now, for some reason, it's only really cropping up this year, even though
it's been going on for how long?
Yeah,
I actually had only heard of the Queen's Awards until this year.
Yeah,
and that's literally only because my sister was nominated.
Yeah, we asked a bunch of other folks that are around our age, and most people don't really keep up with it. And even people who are older are kind of like meh with the award. But at the end of the day, it seems to be an issue with the lack of diversity in these awards. But once again, as far as we were told, and as far as what we have researched, these awards are nomination based. So therefore, a person that is criticizing the diversity or lack thereof in these awards should also release a list of their nominees that were denied, and there maybe we would have a case, you know what I mean? And on the flip side of that, according to what Mr. ex-Premier Dunkley said, in his regard, I want to also say that it shouldn't just be up to black people to nominate black people. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the gist of what you get.
That's a very fair point.
It's kind of like basically saying, in his response to Christopher Famous's usual
racist rant.
Yeah, poor me. 400 years
white
ago,
guilt,
this and that.
White supremacy. Even though the ruling party is black.
Well, my thing is, again, what we need to understand about this whole
even Xander still considers himself black.
Yeah, well, you know, but the whole white supremacy thing, yes, it is a white supremacy, but when you unpackage it, you really realize that it's just a rich supremacy. Like, it just so happens and correlates that many of the rich folks are white.
I don't think rich people care about what color that you are. They care about how much money you have. If rich people cared about what color you are, then why do we have a Chinese bank on Front Street and not a white one?
It just comes down to, it's like when you unpackage it, you realize that in the welfare stats of America, you have equal amount of whites, equal amount of blacks that are poor. Here in Bermuda, we're on the same. It's like, yeah, so they send their kids to private school, but does that mean that they have liquid cash? Like, when we develop and look into wealth, you know, you have liquid and you have assets. Like, so sometimes black people have more assets. Sometimes white people have more assets, but sometimes whites have more liquid cash.
It varies.
Yeah, it's like, you know, you don't package these things. You can't just blanket say, you know, well, the whites have it better, because
and even private school, like if you want to talk about only white people in private school. When I went to BI, which is a private school, there was one white girl, one.
That's right.
They teased the life out of that poor little girl. Well, she probably ain't little anymore. That was a long time ago, but they teased the life out of that girl. I hope she's all right.
And one thing about working at my job is that you see a lot of folks come across of various backgrounds that are on FA, financial assistance. So it's not just, you know, so just bringing it back to the narrative, we always see the same case being made of, lack of diversity or lack of this or lack of that. Well, in this awards, why exactly?
Let's pull up the numbers.
Yeah. Why exactly didn't Thomas Christopher Famous in his article release people that he felt as though were deserving of the award and people that he actually nominated? Because that would make it a bit more credible.
It would make it significantly more credible. It would also make his point a bit more heard from the majority of people, because if you provided alternatives to the norm, then we'd be able to be like, okay, well, being that he provided alternatives, it's like remember when black people did Oscar So White back in 2016, was it?
Yeah.
Now, they complained because not that many black movies got nominated for Oscars. However, there were no movies that year that I would have given an Oscar, not myself. I mean, the best black movies that came out that year was Straight Outta Compton. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got nominated for screenplay, but the screenwriters were white. So, but the next year, we were like, okay, this is a good movie. This is a good movie. Okay, we did Moonlight. Okay, we did
You know, I'm kind of lost on this.
Taraji's Face. Jeanette. I was a Gifted Hands.
No. It's I know what you mean. The one where they were all working at NASA.
Why? It's at the tip of my tongue. Why can't I get it out? I love that movie.
Well, you all know what it is, because they was working at NASA. And everyone knows Taraji P. Henson.
And Janelle Monáe and Octavia Spencer, Academy Award winner Octavia Spencer.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
She got that Oscar for putting that. She said, "Eat my shit." That's what got her that Oscar.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
But either way, it comes down to when you are complaining about something, and we get that a lot in Bermuda, and we see a lot in various facets of our community where we have people that come on and complain about something and don't provide a viable alternative. And I mean, I hate to say it, I know a lot of people are going to probably disagree. I don't know about what he says in his private time, but almost all of Thomas Christopher Famous's articles, a lot of he said, she said, pointing fingers, and it's not really too much of a solution being made. Like, I mean, he's made a claim about the Redco, you know, you're paying this for empty island, but remember, you're an MP. You are no longer just a journalist or just a column writer or just an opinion piece writer. Yeah. You can actually, along with your team, implement changes. So what are your plans of what you want to do with that island? You know what I mean? Like, don't just point fingers and criticize.
See, this is the thing. Like, when the house is on hiatus till next month, I think. I can't remember. But last year, it was last year. A few weeks ago, I started attending the House of Assembly on Fridays. And all I would hear from Christopher Famous is, well, he got up there and he gave like a whole hour-long spiel on how Dunkley and Jeff Barron were to blame for the December 2nd protest, that he found it, you know, convenient or suspicious that so-and-so said this and so-and-so did this and then this happened after he called this person, and race baiting. Dan was like saying, oh, well, you know, when why didn't white people get beaten up when they were protesting Braun, and then Trevor Manners got up there and said because white people weren't blocking the House of Parliament. But
my thing is, would any of these arguments hold up if it wasn't for race?
This is the thing. It's very race baiting, and race baiting doesn't hurt racism. It only strengthens it, because all race baiting does is breed animosity. And all saying, oh, well, why aren't there any black people doing this? And why aren't there any white people doing this and this and this and this? Because, see, I always just think to myself, because of, you know, growing up, I was very, like, you know, anti-white and, you know, black this and everything. I thought to myself one day, what if, before I say something, how would I feel if a white person said it to me? And it's very the opposite, because it's not even just white people. Like men, like I tell people all the time, I firmly believe that every straight man needs to get aggressively hit on by a gay man at least once, so we can understand what some of our women go through. Because you have to think about it from the other person's perspective. How would I feel if someone said this to me?
That's right.
Because we have a lot of output, but we can't take in any input. We can, like, Black Bermuda can give, but it can't take.
But I mean, not even just Black Bermuda, is like, even with this situation with Dr. Cornel West criticizing that younger black writer, right? Because he put Barack Obama in the same category as Malcolm X for civil rights. We as black people, educated black people, intelligent, beautiful black people, cannot criticize one another.
There was an article. What was his name? Dr. Cornel West.
Mm-hmm.
That's the old man that was attacking the young guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I remember seeing an article saying that he was king of the crab barrels. Because, you know, I can't remember his name, but I've seen several videos. I saw one video of him explaining why white people can't use the word nigger. I thought it was beautiful because how he explained it made sense.
He's very educated.
Actually, you know, we should probably link that video in the description. I like that video. That was a good video.
But it just comes back to, it's one of our biggest issues. Like, as soon as we as a community start to really point fingers or to criticize one another, and you have something called constructive criticism, which is really what was happening in that situation. You have instantly, if someone is in the black narrative, like that guy, the new young writer, whatever his name is in the black narrative at the moment of how majority of blacks are feeling, and you have Dr. Cornel West, who was alive and fought in a lot of the things that this guy writes about now, was actually there, is being disregarded now because of some of his actions now. But it's like, can you really discredit somebody for all they've done based off of a few actions? Can you really look past somebody that actually fought for civil rights? That's why I always show respect to Aunt Laverne Farber.
Yeah.
Because I don't necessarily agree with her political points, but I know for a fact that she was there during the times, and she pushed forward along with a lot of her colleagues so that we in Bermuda could sit here and have that level of freedom of speech. So please understand, it is times where we criticize people. That does not mean we don't respect you.
Because the thing is, the struggles, the deeds, and the acts of the past do not excuse the actions of the present. We are respectful and we are grateful for where we came from. Yes, for the love of God, we know our history, okay? However, being that we know that history, we are all the more trying to make sure that we don't end up repeating it. Because history has a tendency of... History actually doesn't really repeat itself, if you really think about it. It doesn't. It just keeps going forward. It's just there's no new concepts.
Yeah. Well, we are stuck in a loop as a
What did King Solomon say? There's nothing new under the sun?
It's not.
There you go. Got me quoting the Bible. Hallelujah.
Oh, man, it is a new year. But I mean, I will say that we as a black community have definitely been stuck in a loop because before the Europeans came, we were still warring tribes of Africa. We have never been able to unite and consolidate as a people. You know?
Well, it was certain parts of Africa because there's been plenty of African empires that did unite.
No, but I mean as a people. Like you're talking about like nationalities wise.
Okay.
As a people, as a black conglomerate.
Well, there's never been full unification of an entire people.
Well, let me put it this way: when the Jews come over to a new place.
Okay. Jews and then black people. But it's like Israel is this big and Africa is like this entire office.
A different way, Dan. Asia.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
When they come over, they click together. Yes. When if they open up establishments, they support the establishments.
Except for the Koreans and Japanese, they don't like each other.
No, they don't like each other. But I'm not talking about all. I mentioned Asia generally, but not all Asian nationalities. But what I mean is that if Japanese people set up a shop, all Japanese people will support said shop. You know what I mean? They will go and eat and shop and do whatever they need to do.
No, black people want discount. Hey, bro, come on, hook me up. You know what?
But the thing is, not to be too hard on blacks because I feel like we have been conditioned. Like, this is the part that I do agree with Thomas Christopher Famous and many that triumph this point, that we have been conditioned to a certain extent to pull the rug from underneath one another. And that condition obviously comes back from slavery. But how long are we going to continue to blame the boogeyman for our issues?
Baba Yaga?
You know what I mean? Because this lack of diversity in these awards is only a catalyst for an ongoing issue in Bermuda that is now being perpetrated by our government. And it was being perpetrated by our last government as well because of their unwillingness to speak up while they were in power. And now they have a lot to say now that they're opposition all of a sudden.
All of a sudden.
So it's like this is being perpetrated by our government, both sides, this divide, because they only speak to the base. They never speak to anyone else. Because there's no way that Thomas Christopher Famous wrote that article in hopes that it would change the hearts of white people. He wrote that article for blacks, just like Premier Michael Dunkley wrote his article for those that support his narrative as well. Nobody is really taking the time to articulate or reach over and actually cross it. Because I got into a bit of a spat underneath Thomas Christopher Famous's
as usual
post. Yeah, as usual. And you know, certain Caucasian folks came forward, like my good old friend Graham Mole, who every time we come in contact with each other online, he leaves a extremely sour taste in my mouth.
Every time I see Graham Mole, it's just like, well. Yeah.
When these two are singled out by the black community because they support the narrative, but when I think it's a blue moon when I see on that page or Thomas Christopher Famous's page something intelligent that the other side has said that he agrees with. And I mean, sure, maybe in private. Like I said, we don't know him in private. But I'm talking about like what you put out to your supporters, what you put out to your constituents, does not reflect that you care much for what the other side has to say. But you want them to care about what you have to say. And this is the problem. On both sides. It can't work, can it? So, I would like to see a list of nominees. Or we can be like, I think it was Linda Meinzer, I can't pronounce her last name, but she said she's starting to compile her list of nominations now for 2019. And I think that's great, because we should get these nominations and we should get diversity in our awards. Blacks deserve to be nominated.
But this is the thing that I'm afraid of. But going back to the whole Oscar so white thing, one thing that I was afraid of with the next Academy Awards was that they were just going to give them to appease the black people. That's another thing. Nominations without merit are not nominations. Speaking of that, let's look at these nominations. We have...
Yeah, that's a good thing that there is nominations there, because they have to have done something.
Agreed.
Yeah, and we have plenty of blacks in the community that have contributed in their fields.
So, Group 1 is the Queen's Certificate, a badge of honor recipients for the America's Cup BEA Committee service include Lieutenant Colonel William White.
Brace the buddy, thanks.
Steve Kosham? Is that how you pronounce that? Kosham? Whatever, okay. Arthur Whiteman.
I'm sorry. His name can't be Whiteman, man.
Wightman. That is Whiteman.
No disrespect, sir. Sorry. It's just with the situation at hand that is ironic.
Gary Medeiros. Michael DeCudo. Denise Riviere. Woo! We like Denise. Woohoo! We like Denise.
Yeah, Aunt Denise. That's what I'm talking about.
Fiona Beck. Dr. Joseph Francione. Okay. Lieutenant Colonel Brian Gonsalves.
Brace the body. God
Tom Miller.
Damn, regiment fix.
Don't the boy kind of like a younger Mick Jagger?
Well, yeah, we get to the point.
Then Group 2, Collective of Group Award, Queen Certificate for Badge of Honor, which awarded to the following America's Cup representatives: Andy Cox, Killian Weller. We don't have pictures of these people, so I can't really tell.
Yeah, but all of them.
Michaela Kramer, we know she black.
Bermuda sweetheart. Right, that's what they call it.
Is that what they call it?
I'm there. That's your sister.
I know she's my sister. I ain't never heard anybody call her Bermuda sweetheart.
Well, I just did. Call me. Just kidding.
She just got married, dude.
I know, congratulations.
To somebody significantly better looking than you.
Well, I mean, if you're the family standard, I wouldn't go there. But
first of all, everybody in my family's good looking, okay?
Well,
we don't know what happened to you.
It's always a -1.
Either way. Where was I? Andrew Diaz, Shane Rowe, Greg Muir, M-U-I-R, however.
You don't have to read them all.
D.D. Cooper? Is that D or D?
I'm sure people are seeing the list.
Okay, either way.
Thank you.
What does everybody in the first list have in common?
ACBDA, America's Cup.
What else do they have in common?
They work with the America's Cup.
What else do they have in common?
They're white.
No. Not just that.
Oh?
Because then he said, exactly. No disrespect. But they're old. Now, these are nominations, yes?
Uh-huh.
So shouldn't the question be, why isn't the nomination process done by a more diverse group?
Well, I mean, anyone can nominate.
Anyone can nominate. However, let's think about it this way. When you're in school and you nominate somebody for class president, I don't know if they do that in Bermuda, but in America, like we used to, the positions meant nothing really. It's just something fancy to put in the year. But we would nominate people for class president. And who always won? Not the most qualified person, not the smartest person, whoever had the most friends.
Mm-hmm.
So, that being said, is it really a surprise that most of these nominees are white when I would probably bet money that majority of the people that nominated them were white? Because the thing is, if black people would nominate people, do you think we wouldn't pick our own? Do you think we wouldn't nominate black people?
Oh, we would.
This is the thing. What is the PLP? 99% black, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Because black people chose them, yes? Well, because, they ran and then black people supported them, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. That being said, can we really be surprised? You think if young people were doing nomination, we wouldn't nominate people our age?
Probably would.
Well, of course they will, because we want young representation. But this is the thing. How many of us actually know what these awards are?
Not many.
I don't. I never heard of them until my sister got nominated. I was like, oh, congratulations, Queen's Award, boo-hoo. The Queen don't care about the award. She could be senile for all we know. We don't know what's going on with the Queen. Well, okay, let's not say too much about it,
Yeah,
Go save the Queen. We love you.
Yeah, I swear, yeah.
Long may she reign.
How many y'all be that's the head of it,
That's another good question. When she does eventually kick the bucket, do we get new money?
Probably not.
Why not? Did our parents have money with King George on it?
We're not too fond of Charles. So.
I think Charles would advocate the throne in favor of William.
keep your name. But either way, with that being said, our main point that we want to drive home here is the fact that, again, when you have nominated awards, right? These awards are sent out to the premier. Mm-hmm. And the governor.
But what about the other awards there? What about Entrepreneur of the Year? There are plenty of black people in that.
Oh yeah.
What about all the other awards Had your boy Melvin on the front page of the magazine and everything. There was a few black people on there.
Oh yeah. And the thing,
you should see it's just glaring at me like, why you keep talking about me, But
that gets me there, isn't it? Because it's obviously being used as a catalyst.
Of course, it's being used as a catalyst. But this is the problem that we're facing in this country. We are making not accusations, but we are attacking points. We are asking questions, but we are not providing solutions. Same thing like Christopher Fame said in his thing. Oh well, what do we do with a $40 million island? What about what do we do with a $40 million island? And we're like, Jeff Sousa, DJ at Irie Radio, came on there and said, well, we could do go-karts. We could do what was it? Boat? We could do boat racing. We could do go-karts. We could do a bunch of things. And we're saying the same thing. Like Minister Cannoner said that I'm saying Minister Cannoner, MP Cannoner. Is it MP? Mm-hmm. Okay. MP Cannoner said we could grow stuff there. You know, he went to go look at these advanced growing whatever. He said we could have farmland there. Okay, I think that's a solid idea.
Would definitely lower the cost.
We said we could build a water park there. We could do concerts there. If we don't do anything there, then that is a bad representation of the current government, because there are plenty of ideas that the people of Bermuda are suggesting that are not being implemented. Now, Christopher Famous want to get up there on his high horse and be like, oh, well, what do we do with this island? You are an MP. You have the power to influence what happens with that island.
It's there now.
But this is the thing. We have a lot of members in the PLP that are doing a great job in their positions, and I will always give credit where credit is due. You are like, to those that are doing their job, great. Do your thing. However, we still have too many MPs in the PLP that are still acting like they're the opposition.
Or columnists with no action.
Or columnists with no tact or respect for anything. Now, that being said, we have provided quite a few solutions to the America's Cup Island business, as well as the nominees.
Make your own government nominee.
Make your own government.
Bring back the Heroes Award. Get a committee. We have a lot of qualified people who sit in the committee.
We have plenty of qualified people. But here's another question. Why aren't there any young people getting nominated for anything?
Young people have to nominate, but that
I understand that, but you want to champion about black people. Well, what about the rest of us?
Well,
yes, we're black, but
I feel like once you launch an award and you advertise and do enough groundwork about the awards and the nomination process, because not a lot of groundwork's been done for the Queen's Award nomination process, because not a lot of people know about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So I feel like if you had the chance, the PLP could now launch a award nominees thing of their own.
Yes.
And nominate Bermudians that deserve it. Like Laura Duffy, who was not on the Queen's honors list. And I feel like she's done a tremendous amount for Bermuda as far as just girl medalists or here and there, an Olympian.
There you go. There's a suggestion. Why didn't you ask? Why wasn't she nominated? But see, this is the thing. It's always smoke with no fire. It's always questions with no solutions. It's always accusations without any evidence. It's always this without that. Can we just get like a coherent narrative where we sit there and say, okay, we didn't like the fact that not enough black people were nominated for the Queen's Award. Okay, we didn't like that. So here is a few people we think should be nominated. Or here is a coherent plan so that next time we can make sure that we not diversify the awards, but we diversify the nomination process and those that are nominating, and bring more awareness to this so more people of color can get involved with this type of thing. So we can solve the problem, because, like I said, blowing smoke does not fix racism. Throwing accusations does not fix racism. It doesn't, because the thing is, in order to fix racism, you have to make everybody on the same playing field. We can't continue throwing stuff, because as we threw something as hard as we could, we still could not hit them in their quote-unquote ivory tower. We have to build our ebony tower Thank you, Stevie.
I love that.
To go to the same level as them, and then they'll be like, oh, look who's here, the black people, yes! Because they don't care about what color we are, they care about the money.
And even if they care, who cares? We have our own businesses and stuff. We'd be in the Ebony Towers.
But this is the funny thing. How many black people do you think's in the Ivory Tower? Quite a bit.
But that's the thing, and that's the big thing. Again, a lot of us say that, racism is a one-way street. And
no, it's a two-way street.
But it's a two-way street, and really, the only whites that are allowed to come over to our side are the whites that are willing to admit that they are the big bear wolf and they are responsible for
your classic white guilt people.
And yeah, white apologists is what me and my roommate call them.
Well, see, this is the thing. Before we get any comments saying this, yes, we've heard the whole thing that the definition of racism is a systematic oppression that benefits the system that provides white people with more of an advantage than black people. So black people technically can't be racist. That's bullshit. Yes, the system is key towards white people. The global system is key towards the white man. Yes.
It's moved away from white now to rich.
No, it's moving away from white to Chinese. That's what it's moving to. well, that's because Chinese got the money.
Yeah.
But you better brush up on your Mandarin.
Yeah, it's that's the thing.
But it goes back to the whole thing of like. And I'm really worried because I don't want the government to do this anymore. But being that Christopher Famous is the government now, part of the government, regardless. We've got government people that believe the earth is flat, and now we've got government people that are blaming white people for everything. But see, this is the thing. Because, like I said, I've been in the House for a couple times. And a lot of it is literally the PLP yelling at the OBA for stuff they did or didn't do. Oh, well, you didn't do this, or you didn't do that, or you didn't do this, or why wasn't this done right, or why wasn't this done right, this wasn't done right, or this wasn't done right, or you didn't do this, and why did we spend all this money on America's Cup, and why did we do this? Stop highlighting, okay, not highlighting problem, because we need a highlight problem, but stop asking questions and start making solutions.
Because he has a brilliant cabinet besides Jamal.
And Walton.
Yeah, besides those two. Everyone else is brilliant.
Actually, that's what the premier was at my sister's wedding. And I said this to him. I'm like, you know what? I think you're doing a good job. I have a few things to say about a few members of your cabinet.
Yeah.
But even Kim Wilson, who we dragged Kim Wilson to his dirty streets.
You doing all right.
But she's doing all right. Every time she sees him, she always speaks to him like, oh, hey, how you doing, Mr. Wilson? Nice to see you.
Yeah, she's doing all right.
And moving on. Because we could go on.
We just want to see a government of progression, and I see it happening in certain facets and aspects with the medical and I see.
And the Yellow Brigade. We don't like the Yellow Brigade.
No, we don't like the Yellow
Brigade. Because the Yellow Brigade don't know how to use the goddamn manners.
And he's too cheeky. But regardless of that, we all like or dislike certain ministers, but what we want to see...
No, those three. Oh, the rest of them are fine with.
No, I mean like in general.
Oh, okay.
But that's the ones we don't. But we have a few on the other side too. But we can be here all day.
Actually, I don't think I have a personal vendetta against Jamal Simmons because he actually speaks to me every time he sees me. He's like, "How you doing, Trey?" I'm like, "You know what? Cool."
No.
Just firing people.
Yeah.
Either way, we already covered that. Moving on.
We want a government that is now going to not so much leave the past in the past, because you need to look at the past in order to make sure you don't repeat your mistakes, but to now say, okay, we're done pointing the finger at the OBA, or because you caught the OBA with the pants down. They're defeated 24-12. They're done. So it doesn't need to be any more articles about what the OBA has done or what this and that. It's just get in there, get your hands stuck in, and do the job. And
you're literally beating the bones of the dead horse.
Yeah, you can literally pass anything at this point. It's no opposition. Like, they are finished. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, all you guys should be doing is, here's what the PLP is doing, here's what the PLP is doing. Don't even worry about articles to bash the OBA.
What's the analogy my dad uses? He used to say to somebody always when I was a little kid. He used to say, don't drive forward looking in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, because when you vanquish your enemy, I understand that it can become kind of lonesome, right? Because you're used to doing the battling and you're used to going back and forth. But they're done. You know what I mean? Like, I can't stress this enough. 24-12. There's no need for this tit for tat. There's no need for us to be looking at their mistakes anymore, because now you guys are in a position to fix them. So no longer time to cry about spilled milk. Get a damn mop and sweep it up.
And go dump to buy more milk.
Because they did that a lot for some of the things that you guys did, and now it's your turn to get the mop out and sweep up the crap. It's just that is the glory of our beautiful Westminster system that we have just adhered to for the last few years, or millennium, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Decades. There you go.
They ain't been around for that long.
Yeah, well, it feels like forever because it's flawed. But anyway, due to the Westminster system, you'll have to clean up each other's crap. All right? The best thing that you can do is be mature about it and just get stuck in.
And stop posting asinine comments on Facebook. Come on.
Yeah.
You literally, the shit some of you lot say on Facebook. See, we can say whatever we want on Facebook. We're nobodies. You lot are elected officials. Not all you lot. Not all you lot. Specifically, a small handful of them.
Yeah, not Graham Bull. But anyway, sorry,
Graham Bull just strips. Let me keep my mouth shut.
But either way,
he is king of the white apologists.
Yeah, but we definitely understand that we are controversial, but understand that we just speak very candidly, and it is our opinion. And I mean, feel free to refute it, feel free to agree with it. We love you either way. Some of you less than others. But it's a type of news. I think we wrapped it up and said all we have to say. Any last words?
Here's a question.
Oh, okay. We have more.
No. That's the episode. Now we've actually. I was watching some of our. I mean, I might just cut this part and make it its own little video. But I was watching some of our older videos last night. We've come a long way. I mean, you looked like you was 12. My hair was like this short. Looked like little curls hanging from my head. But we've, every time me and Dwayne walk down the street, someone comes up to us and says, I think you guys are great. I love hearing what you guys like to say. Here's a question though. Would you, as our viewers, would you want to have a, how do I put this, more live type of thing?
Interactive?
Like a more interactive setting with us where viewers could come and ask us whatever you want. Ask us to touch on topics that we can't always hit, because we get a lot of topics from people that we're not always able to hit because frankly we just don't have the time. But let us know what you guys would, what you ladies and gentlemen would think about us doing It's That Type of Life. Come talk to us in person, we'll figure out some place to do it. We can't do it here.
Yeah.
Somewhere more open. But let us know what you think. I think that could be pretty fun.
I'm down for it, obviously.
Well, I'm done. Let us know what you think. If you'd be open to it, cool. If you don't, all right.
That's cool. Well, it's been It's That Type of News. I'm Dr. Perman.
Bruce Robinson.
Peace out, guys. 2019 is gonna be so nice.
Why do you think we'll get nominated for the Queen's Award?
I get nominated for the Queen's Award. Yeah, sure.